Hello, geometry. Hey, second video that I want you guys to take a look at. We have a picture here, a pretty complex one with a lot of different types of angles. I want to talk about the different type of angles first. There's four of them that we'll talk about. Acute angles, and they measure less than 90. And remember, bigger than 0, too. We're only going to talk about angles that measure between 0 and 180 from the first video. The second type of angle is obtuse angle, and they measure between actually greater than 90. So between greater than 90 and less than 180. And there are right angles. You may know about this. A lot of students come in fact, all four of these, I do get students that come in and already know these four things. They measure exactly 90. And there's a symbol too, like if you had an angle that looks like this, you'll see this little small square written in the corner, and that means that it's a right angle. And the final is straight angle. Straight angles, and they measure 180 degrees. And like we talked about in the last video, there's all kinds of notation that goes with this. Okay, so now what I want to briefly show you is how to measure with one of these things, which is called a protractor. And you'll see in the protractor that you have numbers on a bottom line from 0 to 180, and then on the top line from 0 to 180. Okay, and so how to figure out which line of numbers, the top or the bottom, to use is based on whether it's an acute or an obtuse angle. If it's 90, they will meet at 90. Okay, so let's measure a few angles in this picture up here. I'm going to measure the angle of AOB. Now, here's how I note that. Here's the notation. Measure of angle AOB. When you put a small little m in front, what you're saying is, I'm going to give you a number. I'm going to give you a number. And so I take my protractor, and there's always on all protractors, there's a little hole at the bottom. You put on that on the vertex of the angle as best you can. You can also see a little line down there. See that little black line? All protractors seem to have this. So you put that on the vertex and you try and line it up. Okay, now remember, I'm measuring AOB. Does this look like to you an acute angle, a right, or obtuse? And your answer should be it looks like acute. Okay, so the numbers that are acute, which are less than 90, are on the bottom row. Okay, so I measure from here up through here, and it looks like it goes just a little bit less than 40. Do your best guess of estimating when you use protractors. So I'm going to say 38 degrees as the answer to that. Again, I'm using the bottom row because it's an acute angle. Let's look at the second one. Let's look at the measure of angle AOD. Put a little m in front because I'm going to talk about a number. AOD as in donut. That's this angle right there. Okay, so put the little circle on the vertex with the line. Here's the angle. Now, does this look like an acute or an obtuse or right? To me, it looks like it's obtuse. It definitely is. It's obtuse. Okay, so I'm going to have to use the bottom numbers. And it looks like there's a little glare there. I don't know if I get, there we go. That's a little better. Let me line it up again. There's a glare. I could even read it. Okay, and so the obtuse numbers are down below. And it looks to me like it goes through almost exactly 140 degrees. If you're off by a couple of degrees, no big deal. Let's do one more. Let's measure AOC. Okay, so AOC is this angle right here. Line it up. Might get a little glare. Now I'm a little disappointed here because as I'm trying to measure it, this ray isn't far enough. It looks acute to me, but it doesn't quite go through the protractor. Just estimate. You can either extend the line if you can, or estimate. I'm just going to estimate. And to me, it looks like, let me get it lined up here, about 70 degrees. One more angle I want to mention up here is the measure of AOE. Now take a look at it. It's here and goes straight. A straight angle, remember our fourth definition from earlier, measures 180 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and write that because that notation is critical. The measure of angle AOE equals 180 degrees. Hope that helps.